How to become super attractive. A 5-step process to becoming more attractive. If you have a desire to become more attractive, to be the sort of person who people literally stop to look at or people find really appealing, then you're going to want to listen to the following steps. As I have a few secrets for you that will not only increase your confidence level, but it will transform what you perceive as attractive and learn how to tap into those secrets to expand your level of attractiveness so that people really are drawn to you and admire you. One of the big mistakes we make in defining attractiveness is to focus a lot of the emphasis on the face. If you're a woman, you probably think that your level of attractiveness is based on how pretty you are. And if you are a man, a lot of this idea of attractiveness is often placed on your physical body. And oftentimes men tend to think that if they're very muscular, they're going to be more attractive. And so a lot of men put a lot of emphasis on increasing their upper body so that they can look more stronger or to have more of what they perceive to be a more manly appearance. But ask yourself this question: have you ever come in contact with a woman who had a very pretty face and maybe even a nice body, but for whatever reason you just did not find her attractive? Maybe you didn't want to even look at her a second time. You thought, maybe it came to your mind, she's okay, she's pretty, and that was all. And the same with the man. How often have you seen a man with a very buff upper body and thought, yeah, he's okay, he has a nice body, but somehow you didn't really care to look again, or you didn't care to admire him or to even think about him a second after that first gaze? Well, both of these people had what most people consider to be attractive, which is the chiseled body and the pretty face. But that really isn't attractiveness, because just as you have witnessed the pretty face and the muscular body but not be moved by it, I'm sure you can also recall someone who didn't have a very beautiful face and didn't have a very, muscular upper body, but for whatever reason, people were always drawn to that person. People found maybe the woman very beautiful and very appealing or very sexy, yet she didn't have what society considers a very pretty face. And the same may be true for a man. I mean, there are some men who might be slim and don't even work out, but women can't stop desiring that man or really admiring him. So what is really going on? What is this attractiveness that those people have that make them stand out, in as much as they don't have what society considers to be that perfect look or whatever that perfect look may be? Well, I'm going to explain to you that there's a finer energy, there's a finer frequency that supersedes what you've been told. It supersedes the look. There's something underneath the surface that influences how we think and feel of a person. And you can tap into that in order to become more attractive. Now, all of these steps are quite simple, but it's the science behind all of them that combine together that really give you the essence of the fullness of this attractiveness. The first step on this 5-step process is to becoming fit. And by fit, I'm not referring to having necessarily a muscular figure or a slender figure, but just becoming more active. Getting out there and going for a good run or a good walk and just really getting your blood flowing. What happens when you get active and you become fit? You are increasing the circulation throughout your body. When you increase the circulation throughout your body, you create a healthy atmosphere inside and around your body. The more active you get, the more energy flows through your entire system, through your entire body. Now, on a physical level, what is going on is that you are increasing oxygen into your system, and so your cells are beginning to become renewed all the time with new energy, new life, new vibrancy. And that vibrancy influences your skin, it influences the health of your system, and it enhances your overall state of being internally. But what happens is that renewed energy spills over into your aura. And what it translates into is a system of health, into a system of well-being. And a great part of attractiveness is being able to exude health and well-being. And so the more active you become, the greater you increase that state of well-being, and the more appealing you become with everything else that you do add to yourself. So again, become more active. And if you're not doing it right now, make an effort to include a good walk or good run and be consistent in letting your system become heated. The more heated your system becomes through exercise and movement, the more circulation that is happening, and the more free flowing oxygen moving through your system enhances your total well-being. Also, try to remember a time when you did become very active, or you went out and had a good run. Try to remember how you felt. Try to remember how amazing you felt, and that euphoric feeling that goes through your entire being, where you felt that you could do just about anything. And maybe when you got home, you looked in the mirror and you thought, wow, I look absolutely amazing. The more you breathe, the more energy you take in, the more you increase that good oxygen throughout your entire body, and that good oxygen enhances your physical appearance. And now let's move on to number 2, which is body language. Yes, you may not have thought of body language as a key to becoming more attractive, but it really is. Whether you know it or not, people are constantly reading your body language. They may not be consciously aware of what they're doing, but they're interpreting your body language to help them have an understanding of where you are and what you're trying to convey. They may not define it as that, especially if the person has not had a formal understanding of body language, but they are reading your body language, just as you read the body language of others to sort of get an understanding of where that person is, what they're thinking, what they're feeling. You're doing it and everyone else is doing it. So try to remember a time where you may have watched somebody walking down the road, and based on how the person carried themselves, with the head slumped, the shoulders bent, the first thing you would think in your mind, very quickly, you'd probably assess them and you think, oh, that person doesn't feel very good about themselves, or that person might be going through stress, or that person doesn't seem very happy. And the first thing you would want to do is to move away from that person, because we often tend to be moved or gravitate towards people who seem vibrant and happy and in a state of well-being. And it's very unlikely that you would look at a person who carries themselves in that fashion and think, wow, look at how attractive that person is. That would not be the thing that would go through your mind. You wouldn't think, wow, how attractive is that person? On the other hand, when you walk with your head up, when you carry yourself with your back, with your shoulders up, and you carry a smile on your face, you're communicating something to the world. You're communicating that you are in a state of well-being and you feel wonderful. When you feel wonderful, that signals to the mind of the other person something positive about you. We often associate vibrancy and health and well-being with attractiveness. So be mindful of what you are communicating by the way you carry yourself. Body language is definitely the subconscious communication of your inner self. And if you want to convey the impression of being more attractive, then by all means, you've got to create a language that represents a more attractive state of being. And how do you do that? Stand in front of the mirror and become conscious of how you speak, how you move your hand, how you gesture, your eye movement, the way you sit. A lot of you may not have thought of doing this, but create your own signature body language. Decide how do you want to represent attractiveness to yourself and to the world. Remember a woman like Marilyn Monroe or some of the great superstars of the olden days. Remember how they carried themselves? They moved like swans and the men moved like wild peacocks. The stronger your body language, the more telepathic communication you're sending out to others. And your body language oftentimes can supersede what your face looks like or how muscular you may be. If you convey yourself in a very seductive or beautiful or playful way, that supersedes your bone structure, because that language is active. It is in movement all the time. And because our minds need constant movement in terms of what we're looking at, because when we're looking at other people, it's a lot like looking at a movie, or it's a lot like being in a show, and we're gathering information on a constant level. So your face is stagnant. It's just there. But your movement is happening all the time. And so you are able to influence how people think and feel about you by your constant movement. And so a woman who walks into the room, for example, who may have a very average face, but her movement is in a constant state of sexuality or playfulness, or she has her own unique laugh or her own unique blueprint. What happens is that people who are around her, they're in a constant state of tapping into that. They're in a state of admiring that movement and recognizing, wow, she's very sexy. Wow, she's very playful. Wow, she's seductive. Wow, and so that translates a lot stronger than just looking at her face alone. What happens is that she then begins to take over the woman who may have that beautiful face, but who's just very stagnant and very boring and has that very simple, average, everyday body language. Body language communicates a great deal from the inside out. And so as you learn to emphasize your body language to match what you perceive as being more attractive, you will find that people become more in tune with you on the look alone. Create your own signature body language. Stand in front of the mirror and decide what it is that you would like to communicate to the world. Because everybody is unique, you may want to emphasize what is unique to you. For someone, it might be the toss of the head, or it might be the flirt with the eyes, or it may be the movement of the hips. But whatever it is, create your signature look with every aspect of your being, the way you communicate, the way you laugh, the way you move. Be mindful of it and be playful. And do create your own signature look, as I said, whether it be that you're a man or woman, create your own look and let it be conveyed in your body language. The third step to becoming more attractive is self-care. And yes, I know you may be thinking, well, I already take care of myself. I have a bath, I have a shower, I wear makeup, I put on nice clothes. But there is a little more to self-care. Here's a picture I would like to create for you. Imagine that you've got a newly built house, and that house needs a fresh coat of paint. So you slap on a fresh coat of paint and clean the yard, and all of the basics are done. And because the house was neutral before, it's definitely going to look a lot better. It's definitely going to look like, wow, this place has been painted and it looks very nice. It's clean and it has a fresh coat of paint. But then what happens when you take the time and paint the trimmings and fine tune all of the little details around that house? What happens is that the house again begins to pop. The image of the house or the exterior of the house begins to stand out. If, for example, you have a door and the door is very simple, but you went out and you got a really, really nice door handle, that very simple door suddenly begins to be transformed by that simple handle or that new handle with a new touch. Tiny details have a way of enhancing what is already good. And the same is true for all of us when we put more emphasis into caring for the finer details within ourselves. And that could be tweezing your eyebrows or getting your nails done or some of those things. Now, a lot of you may say, well, I already do that. But what I want you to do is to take it a step further. And that is to invest more time in nurturing yourself. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, but dedicating some time at least once a week to pampering yourself and nurturing the finer things in your appearance and within your physical appearance will enhance your overall package. Go through your closet, look at your shoes, your bags, and all those things. Are they well oiled? If you've got leather goods, do you maintain the integrity of them? Do you condition them so that they do stand out? Do you take care of your own self? Do you give yourself a massage? Do you go to the spa? All of these things help to increase the quality of your appearance. All of these things help to take your physical appearance to a higher level. And again, it comes back to what I've been saying before, whether you're pretty or you're not pretty, by enhancing yourself, again, people, when they meet you, they, on a subconscious level, pick up those finer details. And what you're conveying to their mind is quality. And quality, health, and vibrancy is translated in the mind as attractiveness. If two people were to stand in front of you and they both wore the very same outfit, but one person put a bit more attention to the finer or tiny details in their appearance and how they care for themselves, how they nurture their skin, their hair, their nails, and all those finer details, and even maintain the integrity of the things that they're carrying with them or they're wearing, you might automatically assume that one person will wealthier than the other or one person will more valuable than the other, simply because that person paid attention to the finer details. The small details help to enhance the overall appearance. And naturally, because these finer details are emphasized, it is instantly communicated to the mind of the one who's observing as something more appealing and something of a better quality and something more attractive. The mind does it for us. We look at something and it looks well cared for, and the first thing we think is beautiful is because we are able to see that something has been cared for, and that communicates to us as something of a better quality. Number 4 in that list is super self-talk. Now that is an important key to becoming more attractive. How you speak to yourself, of yourself, influences the atmosphere around your physical body. If you're feeling horrible on the inside, that spills over into your aura. And people, again, are able to telepathically tap into that. So whether you know it or not, you are telling people how to think and feel about you by the way you speak to your own self. You're with yourself more than you're with anybody else. And so the dialogue that you're having with yourself is infused with a certain sort of feeling frequency. And if every day you're walking around judging or criticizing yourself, those thought patterns begin to merge within your cells. They begin to merge into your flesh, into your body, and that spills out into your aura. And so what happens when you meet somebody is that without saying a word, forward, that person themselves begin to intune this language that you're having with yourself. And you may find that person flowing with you, which is that person will then look at you and say, I don't think she's very attractive. And you will think that, oh, this is validation. This is validation because I don't feel very attractive. And now she's telling me or he's telling me that I'm not very attractive. When really you are the one in charge of how that person feels about you. So if you're speaking ill of yourself, people feel it. And you're informing their mind telepathically how to think and feel about you. So if you're saying, I don't feel so good about myself, how can you expect anybody else to intune that language that you're having with yourself and then say, I think that she's beautiful, but she doesn't. It doesn't work this way. You're informing and you're telling them. And when you think and feel that you are unattractive and that spills over into your aura, it not only just spills into your aura, but it influences your body language. And so not only does it influence your body language, it also limits the flow of good, vibrant oxygen moving through your body. And so it's a snowball effect as each part influences the next and the next. So when you don't feel good about yourself, you often tend to hold your breath in, you feel tension, you don't feel very good. And so that bad feeling that you have about yourself affects your physical body as well. And so you will find that you won't be as vibrant as when you feel really wonderful. When you feel very wonderful and vibrant about yourself, there's a snowball effect. And that is, you find that you breathe more deeply, your body language increases, and then you begin to glow. So you see, they're all connected. And so if you can understand the connection between all of the parts together, then you can understand how to bring all the parts together to create a more dynamic, more attractive state of being. And the sixth part to this is confidence. If you take away confidence from the equation, you can forget about being very attractive. Confidence is the offspring of positive self-talk. When you are confident, you are no longer looking for validation outside of yourself. You have a clear understanding that you are worthy and that you are attractive and beautiful based on your perception of it. And because you think and feel this way about yourself, and because you communicate your attractiveness to yourself, you are then communicating that to the minds of everyone around you. So you are controlling how people think and feel about you by first having a more positive self-talk. And in having a more positive self-talk, you slowly build your confidence level. And you're no longer looking outside of yourself for validation to how good you really are. You're believing it regardless of what anybody says about you. And you're understanding every moment that you are controlling your degree of attractiveness by how you think and feel inside. And that spills out into your aura. And the more you understand that you are in control of that, the more confidence you build. Another key to building confidence is to understand that comparison, when you compare yourself with others, you're actually taken away from your own dynamic energy. And you need to understand that there can be 20, 30, 40, 50 beautiful people in the room. But if none of them have confidence, nobody cares and nobody sees them as being attractive. Because again, what people see as attractive is that finer frequency that's going on first from the inner being of your inner cells, that movement, that thought, that vibrancy of energy moving into your body, combined with that positive self-talk, that higher self-talk, and which spills out into your aura, which communicates to the minds of everybody around you, I feel wonderful, I am attractive. And so when you understand that confidence is based on controlling your own inner state, you no longer look for it outside of yourself. And furthermore, the more attractive you become, the more vibrant you become, the more you're going to encounter people who will try to prove to you that you're not that good looking. People will try to tear you down. People will try to make you believe that something is wrong with you, because we live in a society or a system where people need to feel that they can be one up on you, that they can have something higher than you. And the only way that they can truly do that is to rip you down, to make you feel a little uncomfortable with yourself. And when you understand that, you will stop looking for validation outside of yourself, because as you look for validation outside of yourself, you're giving other people control of your system. You're giving others control of you, your internal state. And if you're looking for validation outside of yourself, you can never fully be super attractive. To become super attractive requires that you learn to honor your own inner state by controlling it and working through the 5 steps that I have mentioned and using them in a combination to enhance enhance your overall state of being. So to apply all of this, what you want to do is to get a pen and paper and to become active in the decision to become more attractive. And so you want to ask yourself, or you want to be able to jot in time to become active, time to get your blood flowing, time to get your body heated so that there is a full amount of circulation through your system. Because the more circulation through your system, the more vibrant your aura becomes, and the more enhanced your skin and your eyes and your body will be, the more health and vibrancy will be flowing through your system. And that is an important part of the equation. So you want to get active if you're not already active, and you want to jot that down so you can put it into your schedule as a necessity. And number 2, creating your body language, and you've going to want to spend some time deliberately creating that. And if you are short for ideas, look at your favorite celebrities, look at the people that you find very appealing, and ask yourself, what is it that makes that person shine? What is it that makes that person really stand out? How does that person really carry themselves? What language is that person communicating outward to the world that makes me feel that person is so completely attractive? Then you also want to take a good look at yourself in terms of your own personal hygiene and self-care. How can you improve upon your self-care? What can you do to enhance the finer details? Okay, we already discussed that in terms of you may already dress nicely and you may already do some of the main things, apply makeup, but what are the tiny things that you can now do to enhance yourself? The tiny details that are often overlooked that will help to increase your level of value. What you may want to do is you may want to spend some time analyzing your internal dialogue, how you think and speak about yourself. What are the things that you battle with? And spend some time really examining those thoughts that you have about yourself. Ask yourself the hard questions. Is any of this really true? Are there other people who have the very same qualities that I have who are attractive? Ask yourself, do they really have an advantage over you, or are you judging yourself too harshly? So get a pen and paper and write out affirmations which support a more positive outlook on yourself, starting from your physical qualities to your internal qualities, and begin to speak those affirmations to yourself on a daily basis. You may want to write those affirmations down, carry them with you, and begin to spend at least, if not, you may want to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes every day just repeating some of those affirmations. And the more you do them, the better. The more you do them, the better it will be. So continue to increase that internal dialogue within yourself. Change the affirmations every week and create new and better affirmations. Speak them over and over and throughout the day if you can, and build up that happy, positive feeling within yourself. And finally, work on building your confidence level. Again, you are the judge of your own self, and how you feel about yourself will determine how people feel about you. It's not the other way around. And if you're looking for validation outside of yourself, you're always going to find someone or someones who will rate you a lot lower than you deserve to be rated. So a person who is very attractive and who radiates that super vibrant frequency of energy has learned to rely on their own inner self to determine their worth and their value. Confidence is something that has to be built on a daily basis. And even when you've reached a level of confidence, you'll find that you will get tested and your confidence level may drop at certain points, but then you've got to come up again. So again, you may want to write a few affirmations for building your confidence level, just to remind yourself that you don't need validation outside of yourself. Why is somebody else's opinion of you more important than your opinion of yourself? When you learn to control how you think and feel about yourself and become active and allow the energy to flow through your body, you'll find that people gravitate towards you. People will begin to find you more beautiful, more appealing. But that has to start with yourself. It's got to start with you deliberately working on increasing that flow of positive, vibrant energy in your aura. So you want to saturate yourself inwardly and allow it to spill over on the outside into that aura in order to achieve that degree of super attractiveness. So there you have it. These are the 5 tips and the 5 processes on becoming super attractive. If you find this information helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. And please click the link inside this video where you'll be taken to a powerful audio and learn how one woman used many of these secrets to become a powerhouse and a powerful seductress.